Okay. So I'm recording that. Well, I'm recording now. Okay, so let me just make sure everyone can see this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through these questions on the worksheet. Okay, so let's do that. Darn it. Trying to zoom in a bit on my. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right, so for the first one, right, we have 6 times x minus 12, right? That's less than 10. And again, what we want to do, let me just rewrite that. Minus 12, less than 10. So again, what we want to do now, right, is we want to solve this. So we want to get x all alone on one side. You know, that's how you solve inequalities. Again, I did post the lecture videos. You know, from the other class, I posted them because their lecture went better. And again, you know, I am sorry about the lecture not going as well last time. So I do recommend, you know, when you can, you should watch the lecture videos. And also the notes are posted as well. So again, we want to get x all alone, right? And there are certain things we can do. For instance, we can add or subtract something from both sides. So let's add 12 to both sides, right? We can get x all alone. So the 12s cancel here. What do we get? We get 6 times x is less than 22. 6 times x is less than 22. Okay? All right, so what do we do next? Well, again, we don't want 6 times x all alone. We want x all alone. No problem. Let's just divide both sides by 6. Right? Once you do that, these 6's cancel. Let me just move that up a bit. Where? Up, there it is. All right. Nope. Hold on. Let me minimize that. Hold on. There we go. So again, we want to now, so what we get then is x is smaller than 22 divided by 6. 22 divided by 6, okay? Okay, now we want to write our solution as an interval, right? Our solution set. Remember, we're going to have intervals here. This is saying that all x has to be less than 22 over 6. So that tells us, one second, please. Wait, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, are we allowed to put it in decimal form?
You can if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Not sure what you would get. I didn't do that, but I can calculate that as well. Well, that'd be like 3.667, I think. If you were to round it, otherwise it's what's the word? Non-terminating but repeating. So, but you would get, what you would get though is here, minus infinity, comma, I'm going to use 22 over 6, like so. So that would be our solution set, this interval. I didn't say you had to graph it, but for fun, I'm going to graph it anyway. Okay, and I got to move this up as well. So, okay. So, okay, so from here now, right, what can we do? Okay, so if we were to graph it, as you can see, right, I'm going to label this a bit. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, come on, 4. I know 22 over 6 we have is between 3 and 4. And notice also, since we had strict inequality, right? Since we had strict inequality, what we're going to use is an open circle. So this is about 22 over 6. So we have an open circle. Let me just add this in the number line. And here we want all x less than that. So we're going to have an arrow pointing to the left. Again, I didn't say you had to graph it, but I just feel better graphing it. So, okay. But again, notice we have an open circle here. And now why is that? Well, again, because we have strict inequality. In other words, 22 over 6 is not a solution. And how do we indicate that? We use an open circle. All right, cool, cool. Any questions on this? Okay, let me do the next one then. So let me scroll down. Yeah?
So if we were to graph it, if it was like just a straight up whole number, then it would just be a circle like colored in.
No, that's only if you have the square bracket and if you have inequality. Here we have strict inequality. So if this was less than or equal, then we would color in the circle.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, so you know, here, let me maybe this out. If we had x less than or equal to 22 over 6, then you would have to color in the circle.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, I got to erase this. Good question. Any other questions at all? So. Okay. All right, let me just move this up to the next problem. All right, let me see if I can zoom in a bit. This might help. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so for this one, same idea, right? We want to get x all alone. Okay, so we have 5 times x minus 4. We draw a line just to separate them. So again, we want to get x all alone, right? Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, let's get the minus 4 out of there, right? You know, it's just like solving equations, right? What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. And what happens when we do that? These 4s go bye-bye. We have 5 times x less than or equal to 8. Less than or equal to 8. That's what we have here, right? Okay, almost there. Let me just zoom out a bit. Okay. But again, we don't want 5x, we want x. So what do? We're going to divide like so. The x's cancel. So what we get is x is less than or equal to 8 over 5. So that is what we're going to get there. Okay. And again, here for the interval, so this is something where you would have a closed circle, as you'll see. X is less than or equal to 8 over 5. So less than or equal. We have minus infinity, right? Comma, 8 over 5. But notice again, we have to do a square bracket. We have to do a square bracket, okay? Because again, we're including 8 over 5. So let me just move this up. So now, wait, I never have enough room. Let me try this. Well, not that. All right. Bear with me. Let me just move this down. Boy. All right. Okay, so we had x left. Darn it. You know what? Here, let me move this over. Bear with me. No, that's not going to work. We'll just leave it like that. All right. So if we were to graph this, I'm going to have to try and graph it really slowly. I mean, tiny, let me do that. Come on. There we go. There we go. That should do it. I didn't say we had to graph it, but I want to do that anyway for fun. So let's say we had this interval, right? The number line. So here's 0. Hope everyone can see this. 1, 2. Okay. Now 8 over 5 is between 1 and 2. So I don't know where. I mean, you probably could get a decimal of it, but let's just leave it like this. But now here, we're going to have a closed circle, right? We're including 8 over 5, right? If you went back up, we would have, we don't have strict inequality, we just have inequality, see? So we have a closed circle. And now we draw an arrow pointing to the left, as you can see. Okay, that's what happens here.